Nigel, we got what we wanted today because in reality trying to get automatic promotion with all the permutations was a big ask, but in the playoffs and we're still in with a chance.
That's it. We'd have taken that. I think first of all at the start of the season our aim was to get in the top 7. Obviously we would have loved automatic, but with a game to go all we could do was lose it really with the other fixtures the way they were going. Bristol Rovers were always going to win, so it was all about making sure we got that point, and it was tough but we got there.
And it was tense at times as well.
Yeah, it's bound to be. They needed a point with Exeter losing to win the league, so it couldn't have worked out any better for both teams.
Yeah, it certainly couldn't, and you can sort of see at the end, couldn't you, when it was 2-2, you knew that Exeter had not been able to be champions. You sort of had a little look, didn't you, across to the Forest Green bench and said, let's just see it out.
Well, it was really coming from their bench, and one of their lads actually said, we're all okay, and it's one of those where there's no point then in going for it. We've got a few minutes left. Both teams have got what they wanted.
Yeah, they certainly did today. Let's talk through the game in a little bit more detail. The Stag got off to a great start in the first half, didn't they? And that's starting to settle the nerves down a little.
Yeah, I think it was important we scored. You don't fancy keeping a clean sheet against Forest Green because they're too good. They're going to cut you open at some point. They're going to create chances, which they did today. So I thought we had to score. We got a couple, and we needed them to get the point.
Yeah, and then in the second half, Jordan Bowery puts us 2-1 up. A good little move and a good little finish.
Brilliant cross from Steve McLaughlin, and he's in at the far post. Rhys Oates went across the near post, and he's tapped in at the far post. Then we should have hung on to it a little bit better. You get through 5 minutes or whatever, get to 85, but I haven't seen the goal back. I just have to see what we did for the second goal that we conceded.
Yeah, and then maybe a few question marks over the goals, whether we were trying to play offside trap or not, but in the end we can talk about it, but it actually doesn't matter at all, does it, because we are where we are. Any decisions that have gone in the last 46 don't matter an inch now.
No, they don't in terms of points. The officials' decisions do, because we're still aggrieved over 46 games. The decisions that we've had, certainly. But everything else has gone. We've broken, I think, the points tally record. 77 is the best in over 20 years. We broke a few records along the way this season, but I think we go into the playoffs in good heart with some momentum. Yeah,
let's talk a little bit about the playoffs then, and then of course it will be an interesting one, obviously at home first because we finished 7th in the division, but against Northampton, who dropped out I think in the last 2 minutes when Bristol Rovers scored I think 6 or 7 to go up on goals scored.
It's incredible, absolutely incredible. It's heartbreaking I think for Northampton, but Bristol Rovers have last couple of weeks they were 3-2 down with a few minutes to go at Rochdale, came back 1-4-3, and then they've scored the necessary goals, so congratulations to them. All we're doing is focusing on Northampton now.
Yeah, and Northampton of course a tough test because mentally they'll be really, really disappointed that they've dropped out on the final day in the manner in which they have, but a good opportunity for your side, especially when we go there in the second leg, to just show how far you've come, because that was the lowest ebb, as you said.
It was, but I think the home leg will be where it will be decided. I think our form has been outstanding, 13 and 1 draw out the last 13 wins, so I think that's the one that's going to decide it for us, and we've got to make sure that we're in with more than a chance after the first leg.
And you need it to be exactly how it was fan-wise today, because the sellout in the home are incredible. They're still here.
Absolutely brilliant. I think everybody sensed, everyone's got the phones, everyone knows the scores, the others are all winning comfortably, I think. So everybody knew that we couldn't rely on anybody else, we had to do it ourselves, which against the league winners was a tough ask, the way that the fixtures have fallen. To play them twice in the last 6-7 games is tough, because they are the best team in the league. But we managed it, and for everybody, every supporter, we sold every home seat today. So for all of them, all the way up to the owners, I think the owners have put a fortune in over the years, and I'm sure they think sometimes, why are we doing this? But I think for days like today, it must seem worthwhile for them. So for them, all the way down for everybody in the football club. Considering
where you were at one point and how you were playing, must make you extremely proud to finish in the way you have, especially with such a good home record.
Oh, incredible. You mentioned Northampton, it was only 5-6 months ago or something like that, when we were in the bottom 2. Having been in the bottom few when we first arrived 18 months ago, so to get in the top 7 now, and we're in with a shout, 4-1 shot now of going up. We're down to those odds, but it's a magnificent achievement by everybody. And you look at all the players in the squad, and we had to leave Faz Rawson out today at the 18, and it's everybody. Elliot Hewitt's been out the last couple. Everybody's made a contribution.
What shapes the squad in going into ahead of that those playoff games? As you mentioned, Faz missed out today. Ollie Clark's been back on the bench for the last couple of games as well. How's Kel Gordon doing? Any chance of him sort of being amongst it for maybe 30-second cameo at some point?
No, Kel's the only one that will miss out. His knee was sore. He did a few days training and then it was a little bit sore again, so we'll see how he is in the next couple of weeks, but he's the only one. Providing everybody's all right after today, it'll be the same squad. Plus Faz and Danny Johnson just missed out.
Yeah, and got Stephen Quinn back in there today as well. I think that was a real big positive for you going into this.
Hugely important. It was a bit of a gamble because he wasn't 100% and you could see that, but just to get him out there on the pitch, his influence, and for the other players to see him out there, that was the most important thing.
Yeah, finally from me today, Nigel, obviously lots of Stags fans in here. We want to get them back here next Saturday night. What's your message to them? As you say, 4-1 shot, all still to play for.
I don't think they'll need an invitation. I think they'll be back getting the tickets in the next few days. But it's exciting, it's brilliant. We've extended the season, we're in the playoffs, and we're going to give it the best possible shot we can. Make the same noise as you have done all season. It's not just about today, it's the 45 games before that when we couldn't win a game to save our lives, and they were stuck with us. It's about those times, it's a reward for them for that.
From a Stags fan's perspective as well, that's been a privilege to be able to do this. All I want to say, Nigel, is thank you for a great season. More to come.